Give me the Dr. Story Chronicles Part 2. Let's go.
I had one day where I went in and basically my whole bay was full of druggies. Okay, two of the druggies knew each other, which is
Right.
which is funny. That one was asleep and like completely zonked out, and then the other one was.
I actually know they were druggies.
Because that's what they come in with. They come in with overdoses of drugs.
Oh, really? He came in and overdosed?
All four, man. They're all in the same. Right? No, it was a bay of four. One patient was a doctor, so that he was like the normal patient. The other three were like druggies, right? And so druggie number one, right? This is what happens. People take drugs, right? And either they get like super like woo, like really have to calm them down, or they're super like ooh, like mellow in it. So you got your stimulants, and you got your depressants. I think
depends on what they take.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So imagine,
if they're taking a psychoactive drug, then they're going to be the little.
woo.
But if they're taking a stimulant like Coke, different story.
Yeah, it comes like that, right?
Yeah.
And so this dude, but the thing is whatever they have, at some point it wears off, and then they become normal.
Then they
right?
bounce back down. Yeah. Or
Yeah. Well, they just become annoying, man. They just talk so much.
What, when they're high or when they're normal?
No, I'm talking about when they come out and they just... Because a lot of these people... The thing with overdoses of drugs, you're either very unwell, you come in, you're completely in a coma and you go to ITU, right? Or you're kind of just like... You basically look a bit drunk or whatever, you're a bit hyper, and you just need a period of observation, and when the shit's out your system, you're fine again. These three were in that kind of...
So when you take a shit, it's fine, everything clears?
No. I didn't say take a shit.
When the shit's out your system.
Yeah, not literally. I mean, like, it's just passed out. It might pass out in your shit, but it's more your kidneys. And, so this guy, druggie number one, had woken up. And he realised, because obviously these patients come at different times, the guy next to him was his mate, and I think basically came out later, they were at the same, like, party the day before. They both shot up and got high or whatever they did the day before at the same party. So he was like... You're right, Dave. I don't know what his name was that made him name. You're right, Dave. And he was like trying to wake him up. And I was like, we have like COVID screens, right? Like plastic things.
Oh, this is recent. Wow.
And
okay.
So he's like going under the screen, like trying to touch it. And we're like, listen, oi, stop it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, what am I doing? My friend. And, so he was funny, right? So he's druggie number one. Druggie number two is like completely zonked out, right? He just wants a good sleep. Out. Patient number three is the doctor, sorting him out. He's fine. He's like, bloody hell, wherever I landed, right? And then druggie number three, who's patient number four, this dude, so when you go in, you basically you go back to what we call the original or the source documentation. So when somebody comes to hospital, it's like either they're going to come by an ambulance, okay, or they're going to come themselves. Somebody's going to drop them off. They might self-present. So he'd come by an ambulance. So in that case, what I will do is I'll read the ambulance entry, then I'll read the A&E entry, and then I'll read the overnight entry, and then it's me. So I've got all this stuff before, right? And I'm trying to... And the thing is, you'd think that the story's consistent. It's not. Patients are consistent, so they'll tell different doctors different things. And so I have to work out, what's most plausible. That's the Sherlock Holmes, yeah. I'm trying to work out, what actually happened.
Sherlock Holmes, yeah, okay.
Honestly, that's the best part of my job. Is just working out what actually happened and piecing it together.
I feel like it's an episode of House.
No, it's not. No. I don't know. There's no like diagnostic conundrum here. It's quite obvious. He took speed, man, this guy. And basically, so the story was, he has some speed. He takes speed all the time. He took quite a lot of it. He was walking around the street, and then I think the police noticed he was a bit like agitated, or super agitated. And then he just brought him into hospital.
That's it.
And yeah. Like some bypasses, like bystanders were a bit concerned as well, and whatever. He was a bit like violent and stuff. And so we brought him in. He went to sleep overnight. The nurse I was with that day was like, "Yeah, he's a frequent flyer. We call them frequent flyers. So people we see quite often.
Pops in a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't seen him. I'd never seen him. And so then he'd worn off, and I had a chat with him. I was like, so you know why you're here? And he's like, yeah. I was like, so why'd you take the speed, man? He's like, I just like it. It's good buzz, isn't it? I was like, okay. I was like, why'd you come to hospital? I was like, I don't know. I was like, okay, so when you go home, what you can do is take some more speed. And I was like, this is great, isn't it? I was like, what do you want me to do, man? I was like, nothing I can do for you. Like, just don't take it again. Documentation advised to reduce amount. Like, you can't like physically police these
Can't
people.
force them, can you?
You can't force them. And that's the thing about the NHS is, it's just that, isn't it? For some people, it's a life-saving service, and for some people, it's just like they come in, have 3 meals, bit of kip, bit of fluids, bit of banter with the nurses, and that's it, go home.
Fucking hell, that's mad taking liberties like that. That's where my fucking taxpaying dollars are going. Sorry, taxpaying pounds are going. Right there. On that guy. That's what all the fucking right-supporting leaning people were saying. Alright, safe. I get it.
You get it?
That's fair though. Like, alright, fair enough. Maybe he's lonely. Maybe he's taking drugs as an escape. Why is he taking it as an escape? Maybe he's in a bad place.
Exactly. We don't look. It's not for us to judge, and obviously we want to get to the root cause of exactly. The question is, why do you take drugs? What society within that allows that to happen? That's the question to ask, right? But it was just a very surreal morning, man. Like, I was just there, and they all just a bit like zonked out, and the thing is, I don't really have to do much for them. Like, medically, they're still quite stable. You don't need particular blood tests. Normally, like I said, it just passes out your system, and then you find you're like, okay, tata bye, and
Tata
bye. So that is the story for this week.
Jesus, man. That's still wild though. I can't believe people actually do that. Just come in and pop up some kip, sleep, eat, and then dip.
Yeah. When I was in psychiatry, there used to be this one dude. So psychiatry is even more special. Basically, people just they know the game, so they know if I want to be admitted, I need to basically present myself as being.
Wow, they're gaming the system. They've been in it that long. They know the telltale signs that's going to make you qualify for something.
High risk, right? You need to qualify as high risk. So high risk means you're either harm to others or harm to self. So I'm going to kill myself. I have thoughts. I've written it down. I've planned it out. This is how I'm going to do it. So very well rehearsed. So there's one dude I remember. He'd basically come pre-Christmas, and his Christmas day was with us in psych. You have meals, you have banter. There was a day room, Christmas films on. And as soon as January came, I feel fine. I don't want to kill myself anymore. Out the door.
Wow. So he knew the Christmas love.
Yeah, and trying to disprove, that somebody isn't. Obviously, there is skill in that as well, and that's what psychiatrists are for. That is somebody's what we call suicidal ideation. Is it real? Or is it just attention-seeking behaviour, right? But obviously, if you're putting your name to that, you're saying this patient is just fabricating this. And
that's going to come back to you still. You don't want that.
Yeah, absolutely. And
you don't want that smoke.
The UK system, the NHS has evolved now to a point where, there is an element of sue culture. And
sue culture?
Or complaint culture or sue culture and liability. So, and what that's meant is, we do overscan a lot of people. So, like full body scans you were talking about before, like we over-investigate sometimes, where it's like, it probably is nothing, but, let's just do the scan anyway, and we'll definitely notice nothing.
You want to make sure that it's all good.
Yeah, but that's dangerous as well, man. Then you're not practicing medicine, are you? You might as well come to A&E and have a full body MRI and have every blood test we can do, and then let's just interpret that, you know what I mean? Like, you don't need us there. The game is the Sherlock, isn't it? It's like, the poker, right? What's going to be on the flop? What's the pattern here? What's the clues? Put it all together. What are the percentages? What's the chance of this happening, this happening, this happening? You got to play the numbers, man. You got to play the percentages.